What is up, Arizona high school basketball fanatics? Welcome back to the Arizona Small Ball Podcast. Big Reyes, I know you're doing amazing today. The 3A and the 2A brackets are now officially live, and I know we're so excited to break this thing down. Reyes, I got to ask you, did you get to watch the AIA AZ Preps bracket reveal show?
I woke up at 9:15 this morning. I slept through my alarm.
You didn't even watch it live?
I didn't watch it live, so I clicked in it, and then I was like, oh, man.
That's a swing and a miss for you, man.
So I literally, bro. So, I checked it, and then I was like, damn, who's matched up with who? And so then I had, because it wasn't, they didn't, put it on the brackets yet. So I had to, click on every team to see who they were matched up with.
It's super fun to watch all of the reveal of the teams.
Gosh,
and,
I know, dude.
You missed it this morning, so apparently it's not that big of a deal to you, big dog.
Hey, dude, I was grinding yesterday.
So we're really excited about all of these matchups finally being set. For the 3A, we got the top 24 teams in the state. For the 2A now, after the play-in game, we got the top 16. And, we're so excited to break this thing down for you. Reyes has been working on some awesome graphics for you guys. You've already seen the bracket, but we know it's on everybody's mind. And we're just going to break things down, talk about some sleeper teams, talk about some Cinderella teams, maybe pick some favorites, maybe talk about some potential upsets. It's going to be a super good time. And before we get into breaking down all of these different matchups, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors over at Cloud9 Sports. They're a sports apparel company that is run by small ball coaches, and they care about the small ball schools as much as we do. So we love partnering with them. We use them for all of our events. Head on over to cloud9sports.com and use the promo code all caps smallballarmy. You'll get 10% off your purchase. Or you can email our guy directly, cloud9roger@hotmail.com. I promise you, they'll take great care of you if you tell them that the podcast sent you. So, Reyes, let's get into this thing, man. Let's throw up the 3A bracket. I want everybody to see this awesome. And this is the first time we've actually released a full video here to the public. We do it on Patreon all the time, but this is the first time. Are you nervous, Ray? I
am never nervous.
Yeah, you just can't yawn as much or pick your nose or anything like that,
Oh, come on. Okay, is that what we're doing, dude?
So here is the 3A bracket, and there's a title up here, the South Central region. Reyes, why don't you talk about that a little bit, because you're super excited about this, dude.
Yeah, so this graphic is I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a lot better than what I saw.
Hey, easy.
Hey, no, bro. No, bro. No. This is sick, dude. Are you kidding me?
I agree with you, though. I agree with you.
Okay, I'll stop right there. But, I really like this graphic, and it was kind of fun because, I was trying to play into a little bit of the March Madness kind of feel where they always pick, a region, right? So if you look at the, all the 64, 32 teams, there's, a Midwest region, the West Coast, West region, all that stuff. And so I was like, how can we do that just for Arizona, right? Because you can't just do everything Southwest region because it just doesn't work.
Right.
So I was, looking at the Arizona map, and, shouts out to the small ball teams. You guys are kind of scattered all over the place, right? So we try to pretty much just combine the regions just kind of together. And so as you can see, Palo Verde, Florence, Sabino, Coolidge, Valley, Ironwood, Scottsdale, Christian, Fountain Hills, Thatcher, Push Ridge, Chinley, and Holbrook. Majority of those teams, despite what region they are in, if you look at the geographical region they're in, they're all in the South, right? And then,
some
Chinley
Central and Phoenix and all that, Metro and all that.
Yeah, and so then Chinley and Holbrook, sorry guys, but majority rule in this name.
Dang, you just went against your Roadrunners, big dog.
I know, dude. Like I said, majority rule, right? It's kind of hard to call it the North something when you only have two teams really from the North.
So we want to break down this first part of the graphic, and hey, of the bracket really, but I do want to give a huge shout out to our social media guy, Big Reyes. You did an awesome job with this graphic, man. I freaking love it, dude. I love seeing all the little symbols and stuff. It's great, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I like it too. I hope you guys appreciate it.
It's a lot of work goes into that. So, okay, let's talk about this, right? We're looking at this bracket here.
This is the top bracket, by the way.
This is the top end of the bracket. Let's just get this out of the way really quick. There were some tears that were shed, leading up into this bracket show. Two teams that I can really think of that, they had opportunities, and just at the last second, they lose. And then we'll talk about, honestly, a team that is freaking balling out right now that I think is the hottest team in the 3A. We'll get into that. But let's talk about Ben Franklin and Blue Ridge. I mean, those are two teams in this last week that were fighting for their lives, and nothing but love for those programs. They've got great players and they're great coaches, but they come up short, and my heart goes out to them because most of us coaches, maybe not all coaches, but most of us coaches have been in that scenario where you just come up a little bit short and your season gets cut off before the postseason. So nothing but love for you guys. Ben Franklin loses to ALA Ironwood, which drops them out into that number 23 spot. And then Blue Ridge loses last night on senior night at home against a very good Snowflake team. And that, keeps them from jumping up into the playoff conversation. And because Monument Valley ended up making it to the championship game of the 3A North tournament, Monument Valley gets that number 23 spot, and then Sabino gets that number 24 spot for being one of the top two in their region. So just really unfortunate for Ben Franklin and for Blue Ridge, but they live to see another year at least. They'll be back next year ready to go and hungry, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate, and like I said, I was able to watch the Blue Ridge game, and if any of you guys watched it, we won't really do like a deep dive in it, man. But Blue Ridge had him for a little bit, man. They had him.
Mm-hmm.
And Snowflake rallied, man, and they just were able to hold on to it a little bit. And Blue Ridge just seemed like they just kind of ran out of steam, and Snowflake just seemed to kind of pick up at the right time. So it sucks for Blue Ridge, especially when you look at that rankings and you see them. They're literally at the 25 spot, right?
Man, they would have been in. They would have been in.
They would have been in, man. But it is what it is. And shouts out to those two teams in particular that had a really good season. And sorry it wasn't you guys that got in.
Mm-hmm. Let's move to a positive here, and let's talk about, in my opinion, the hottest team in the 3A right now is number 20 Thatcher. This is a team that was literally, I thought that they were completely out of the playoff conversation about 2 weeks ago, and they have literally done everything that they needed to do in taking care of business all the way up until this point to climb all the way up to that 20 spot, right? I'm going to take you back to February the 2nd. February the 2nd, Thatcher loses a game on the road at Empire 56-60. And if I remember right, I think that dropped them into like the 30s ranking.
Correct.
Since that point on February the 2nd, they have wins over Alchese 71-57. They have wins over Coolidge at home 38-29. 29 points is crazy, right? So is 38. But they have that win over Coolidge, and at the time I think Coolidge was 8. They beat Coolidge, which propels them, I think, up to number 27 or 26. And then they win
26.
on the road at Pushridge, or they win on the road at Pushridge 57-55, a nail biter, and they propel themselves up into that 20 spot. This is a team that, if you're being realistic here, and it's awesome. Their first matchup is against Pushridge. It's a rematch of the last game of the season here for them, and it was right down to the wire. You expect it to be very similar. Can you think of a team that's hotter than Thatcher right now?
I think despite Thatcher, one team that really sticks in my mind, and I'm pretty sure you're probably going to call them a dark horse, which it is respectfully, but Sabino, man. They kind of.
I know Sabino is right there as well, but they haven't had as much of a fairy tale ending as Thatcher has, though.
No, you're right. I guess because like a lot of people.
But I guess they kind of had though.
They've been written off.
Ending.
If you think about it, as far as especially a Cinderella story, they've been written off probably the whole time. Everybody's talking about, man, if they got their transfers in a lot earlier, this and that, the season would have been different. They're a top 15, top 10 team. All this noise, right? And they just kind of kept their heads down, kept working. And if you look at it, man, they only lost one game since January. From January to now, they lost one game, and guess who that was to?
Thatcher.
Empire.
Dude, Empire, bro.
The Ravens were
they're
taking
just
souls,
there,
dude. Hey, this is so random, but hey, if anybody is looking for a coaching opportunity in the South, I guess Empire's, basketball position is open. Just so you guys know, I saw that the other night. So,
dang.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get on that, Reyes?
I'm not going to Tucson. Shouts out to the Dirty T though. I'll be there technically like next week for a field trip. But yeah, that's dude. Empire was taking souls, man. Literally, the Ravens were taking souls. They beat Thatcher. They beat a freaking They beat Palaver. If you look at Empire, I know Empire's not in it, but I'm just saying, you look at the teams they beat. They beat Thatcher. They beat Push.
It's an honorable mention for sure.
Dude, that's crazy, bro. But anyways, yeah. So shouts out Sabino and Thatcher for being two of the hottest teams. And you said the South earlier in the season that they were going to be a region to be reckoned with, and nobody believed you. And now look at you.
Hey, who did believe me is Coach Milliard, right? And he's probably listening to this being like, yeah, go South, whatever. But yeah, I mean, those two teams are going to be really, really interesting. Let's talk about this top end of the bracket. We wanted to talk about that a little bit, like who's some of the hottest teams coming into the tournament. Let's talk about this top end of the bracket. What sticks out to you? What jumps out of the page at you about this first end of the bracket? Who got a great draw? Who is like, oh, shoot, this sucks?
I don't really think anybody got a great draw here, to be honest with you. I mean, you think about it. Paolo and Florence, bro. Like, I would hate to see either.
Hey, you're so right. I didn't even think about that. Until,
Sabino
really
and Coolidge, are you kidding me? If I'm Coolidge, I'm like, gosh dang it, dude. Because they just, I think they did lose to Sabino early in the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Here, I'll check. Yeah, you can keep going.
Yeah. Coolidge beat Sabino 53 to 44. And that was during the time in December 18th. So Sabino didn't even have their transfers.
It's so interesting, dude. This is going to be such a great game. Again,
so if
I'll host it at the higher seeds. We should say I'll host it at the higher seeds.
So you look at the top end of the bracket. Palo Verde versus Florence. This will be at Florence High School. Sabino versus Coolidge will be at Coolidge. Scottsdale Christian versus Fallon Hills will be at Fallon Hills. And this game is crazy too, because I think these two teams, if I'm not mistaken, they split 1-1. Scottsdale Christian beat Fountain Hills.
Scottsdale just beat Fountain Hills.
That's what I'm saying. So they're 1-1, and it's like a lot of region matchups if you kind of like not necessarily think about it.
And you're right.
And then you got Thatcher and Pushridge. If you're Thatcher and Pushridge, like, bro, we literally just saw you guys. And it was a battle, man. I watched that game. It was a really fun game to watch. Just a lot of just high level, a lot of 3-pointers just being made, and just just grit and toughness just displayed that night.
Let's talk about Scottsdale Christian for 1 second, because we already talked about Thatcher and Push, but like, we talk about a team coming into the tournament really hot. I mean, Scottsdale Christian, we talked about, we played against them January 23rd at their place, and we ended up winning 61-66. And we were talking on the way home, like, man, what if that knocks Scottsdale out of the playoff race? Because their next games were Gilbert Christian, Pima, Northwest Christian, Fountain Hills, Rancho, Bourgade, and then Chino, right? Like, we were just saying that's a gauntlet of, like, there's great teams in there. Scottsdale Christian, Coach Anderson's a freaking awesome coach, dude. He gets his kids to play at such a high level, and they end this season. They compete against Gilbert Christian 61-66, although they lose, but it was a great kind of trajectory for them. They beat Pima at the buzzer. Shouts out to Jackson Harrison. They lose at Northwest Christian. They have a huge win at Fountain Hills, or at home against Fountain Hills, 63-50. And they lose against Rancho, but they beat Bourgade. They do just enough to get themselves up into this 21 spot. And this is a team that's playing really well. They just beat Fountain Hills at home. Again, it's a close game. But actually, no, that's a 63-50. That's 13 points. That's a 13-point game. You know how I'm terrible with math, bro. Hey, me and Coach tried to figure out the algorithm for AZ Preps. It was the first time I ever thought math was cool. I'm going to tell you that.
Did he just deep dive into it?
Well, we were like looking at it, but it was just a little bit too much. I mean, yeah.
Got a little intense. No, I get that, but I mean, so I don't think anybody really got a good draw, because even if you think about it, the winner of Palo Verde and Florence, you're going to Valley, right? And Valley, like I said, we know what Valley has and what they got. And, shouts out Luke Shaw is back.
Wait, what?
Luke, I mean, you haven't been really following the Twitter, huh?
Wait, like he's not the post that said that he's eligible.
Or eligible, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I just, his injury-wise.
No, yeah, injury wise, but you know what
I
I mean.
haven't heard any updates on the injury. Yeah, that tweet was
Per-
something, but we'll have to
BP.
check on that per ASBP, right? We'll have to check on it.
No, it was just about the eligibility thing. A lot of noise was being shed on that situation, which was, I mean, dude, how funny is it that like, we have like small ball controversy, which I love, honestly, dude.
It's so funny,
in our little
dude.
realm, dude, there's just a little bit of controversy, which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, look at Valley Christian. Like I said, it's a tough draw. It's a tough second round matchup. Chin Lee, I think, got the short end of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
You play
I know.
you play Sabino or Coolidge, and Ironwood. I mean, that one's a tough one, right? Like who?
Well, let's pause and talk about that 24-9 Sabino Coolidge. That nothing but respect for Chin Lee and Josiah Harvey because they're great players. And Chin Lee, of all the reservation teams in the 3A North, they played the best of all those reservation teams.
Hey,
but
what I tell you, I wish someone could just go back into our episodes and just repeat
right,
what
you
I
did.
said.
You
Bro,
did say it. That's fair. That's
bro,
fair.
you literally called me crazy when I said that Chin Lee's gonna be a top 10 team, and you're like, dude, you're crazy. And I was like, all right, just watch.
I know you're right. I stand corrected. Okay. But they played the best out of the 3A North, and
Correct.
nothing but respect for Chin Lee. You know, it's a great program. But
Are you about to write
Sabino
them
or
off?
Coolidge coming out of this, I would favor them in that matchup against a Chin Lee. I just would.
Hmm.
Even though it's at home, I get that. I just would favor the other team. After watching so much of the 3A North, it's just a different vibe than what's going on in other places. So, yeah. And then you're going to Scottsdale Christian, Fountain Hills, and then ALA Ironwood.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I think that's a tough matchup either way. I know that I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ironwood's played both of these teams. Yeah, I'm checking.
Ironwood
right.
played Scottsdale Christian early in the season, and
they
I
lost
think
by
Ironwood.
and Ironwood beat them by 9, and then Ironwood
And then
also,
Fountain Hills lost to Ironwood on the road 46-63.
Yeah, and I think obviously, as we all know, a Coach Bonner team late in the season is a very dangerous team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. Who gets there? And then you have Holbrook. Freaking Roadrunners, dude. You wrote them off out of the top 10 team. I told you they're going to be a top team. And there they are, bro. I'm just saying. Now, with that being said, though, they are going to have a very, 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 very tough second round if, either team gets by, right?
But dude, this is such a fun matchup because like Holbrook's style of play is so different than Thatcher and Push. You know, Thatcher and Push are so physical, especially Thatcher. Like I think I favor Thatcher. I favor Thatcher to win in this matchup over Push, even though it is on the road. I think they're just playing at a different level right now. Their confidence is really high, but like this physicality of Thatcher against Holbrook is going to be really interesting. I think I would probably still favor Holbrook over Thatcher, but man, it's just going to be a fun matchup because it's just very different types. You know, Holbrook's going to be a little bit more skilled than Thatcher is, but Thatcher's going to have definitely that edge over them with the physicality of the rebounding. You know, Tapahaw's going to have a huge game. Your boy Mai is going to have a huge game.
Mine. No, you're absolutely right. So, this is like I said, this is the top half of the bracket. Do you want to kind of just go down and just see who's going to be moving on to the second round?
Let's go into that second. Let's go to the bottom half of that bracket. That's what you mean, right?
No, I was talking about like, hey, like who do we want? Do you want to pick who's going to win between Paulo, Florence, Sabino?
No. Let's stay there. Yeah, no, I think we're good. You know,
hey,
we've already kind of. I'm just saying
You want
to make predictions? We can make predictions if you want. Go ahead, dude.
No, do you want to? We don't have to. No, not yet.
No, let's do it, dude. You put me on the spot. Let's do it. I already gave my prediction for Thatcher and Push. I would favor Thatcher. Scottsdale Christian, Fountain Hills. Oh,
you're about to get crazy,
dude. That's really tough. I'm gonna favor Scottsdale Christian in this one. I think Scottsdale has maybe a little bit more than a Fountain Hills. Now, Keaton Orr and all the other Fountain Hills fans listening to that are going to be like, you guys are crazy, and that is fair. You know, I get that. But Scottsdale Christian's playing at a really high level right now, and they have, I think, just a little bit more weapons than Fountain Hills does. Doesn't mean anything in a playoff game, but it kind of could mean something. And then when I go up to Sabino and Coolidge, I think I would favor Sabino in this matchup over Coolidge. And I know, same thing, the Bears are going to be like hating me for that. But I got to call it how I see it. and say it like that. And then Palo Verde and Florence. I might have to roll with Palo Verde on that one. I favor them.
Interesting. So, I mean, those are not bad picks. I think I'm gonna go with you too as well. I mean, shouts out Coach Silva and shouts out for the Gophers for being the host for the second annual ASBP Senior Showcase. But I gotta rock with all the smoke tour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stay on that train. I can't just hop off of it now. You know what I mean? And like I said, Coach Smith, Coach Silva, like I said, two great coaches, great people overall. But like I said, I gotta stay on all the smoke tour train. Sabino Coolidge. I think Coolidge gets it done. I think Coolidge.
It is interesting because it's at home, and I think that makes a huge difference for Coolidge. Coolidge plays better at home.
They do, and so I'm gonna go Coolidge edges out Sabino. I think it's a very close game. Fountain Hills, Scottsdale. I'm gonna go Fountain Hills. Like I said, you're counting out the Falcon fans.
I'm not. You see, when you say it like that, you make it sound like I'm doing something like mean. I'm not counting anything out. I'm just saying who I think's gonna win.
That's fair. I'm going to go with Keaton Orr. I think he can lead his team to the second round and face A.L.A. Ironwood. And then last but not least, Thatcher Push. I'm going to go with Thatcher as well. I think the way Thatcher's been playing just so late in the season, I think they're peaking at the right time, and it's a very scary team to meet in the second round.
Really quick, and then we'll move on to the next part of this bracket. But Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, an Eagle versus a Falcon. Like, if you were to, realistically look at that, who do you think has the edge?
Isn't an Eagle bigger?
I think an Eagle is bigger. What's the difference in the sounds that they make?
I feel like an Eagle screams America. I don't really know what a Falcon screams. You know what I mean?
Okay,
dude?
Let's move on to the next part of that bracket.
So yeah, just so you guys hear, Reyes' picks or my picks. I have Palo Verde Magnet versus Valley Christian in round 2. I got Coolidge versus Chinley in round 2. I got Fountain Hills and A.L.A. Ironwood in round 2. And then I got Thatcher and Holbrook in round 2.
And, I mean, we should say this. The clear favorite to come out of this part of the bracket is Valley Christian. They'd be favored in every single matchup that they're in, including the All the Smoke Tour. They would be favored. And, I think we should say that. But I think on this bottom end of the bracket, things could get very interesting with the Holbrook, seeing if they can play against some of those bigger teams.
Absolutely. And the bracket breakdown, we're only breaking down the first round. So just stay tuned for the later rounds. But I think you're absolutely right. I think Valley Christian is fair to say, right? Respectful to all of the coaches and teams that are going to be competing. You're competing to beat Valley, right? And so, let's move on to the lower part of the bracket.
Next one. Okay, so Reyes called this one not the South Central, not the South Central region, but the Northeast region. I think I called it, right?
You called this one the Northeast.
Yeah, I call it the Northeast region. Don't act like you hate it. But
I don't hate it, bro. I'm just saying. Before you just start saying, I did all this stuff, dude.
I wasn't dogging on you.
Hey, bro,
dude.
You always do that to the dog, dude. So I have to make sure.
So number 19 Safford faces off against number 14 Parker. You got 22 Camp Verde facing off against number 11 Winslow, bro. I don't even care today. I'm repping my Camp Verde stuff because I'm so
rep it out, bro. Hey,
I'm repping it.
Cinderella. Anyways,
but Camp Verde faces off against number 11 Winslow, 23 Monument Valley against number 10 Page, a very familiar matchup. Number 18 Payson against number 15 Sholo, another very familiar matchup. Actually, all of these are very familiar matchups except for Safford versus Parker, if I remember right. So let's kind of talk about this. Obviously you see the teams that have a bye 3 all the way through 2, or you know what I mean? So let's talk through this thing, okay? In the Northeast region, you got Safford versus Parker. What are your thoughts on this? And actually, before we even do that, what jumps off the page at you at this bottom end of the bracket? Anybody get an easy draw? Anybody get a tough draw?
Golly, I'm gonna say anybody get an easy draw. I think the tough draw is whoever ends up playing Yuma Catholic, right? I think that's a tough draw. I think if you're Monument Valley or Page, I think you almost like the matchup against Snowflake, just because stylistically it's just totally different. Pace and Sholo and Gilbert Christian. That one's gonna be an interesting matchup if I think the team that I think is gonna win gets through and plays Gilbert Christian. I don't know. I don't think anybody really got a shoe win or a very easy win. I think in this bracket, I I don't want to say it's deeper, but I think, like I said, you have Yuma Catholic and Gilbert Christian on one side of the bracket, which sucks that they have to go through each other if they make it that far,
Sure.
to ultimately face anybody on the top half. But like I said, you have there's a lot of physical teams in this lower end of the bracket, if you think.
Yeah, there are some for sure. And I think one of the things that sticks out to me is familiar opponents, right? So Camp Verde, we've played against Winslow, obviously, earlier in the season. Monument Valley, this will be their, I think, fourth time playing against Page in a season.
Correct.
I think they played 2 times before. They played in the 3A North tournament. Mind you, Monument Valley bested Page to get into that 3A North championship. So they played each other their fourth time. That's super unique. And then Payson and Shola have obviously played each other. And we can pause and talk about the East right here and how crazy the East is. But if Blue Ridge would have won last night, every single team from the East would have gotten into the playoffs.
That just shows you how deep. Is that fair to say that the East was the deepest region this year?
No.
Dang.
No.
Still not going to give it. You can't give it to them, huh?
No, I can't give it to them. I think, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. But it's super interesting.
You still think it runs to the South Central? Just say it, dude.
No, I'm just saying, bro.
Hey, just say it with your chest, dude. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying anything, okay? So let's go through this. Let's break this thing
Political
down.
Lou, dude.
Who do you think? Let's start up at the top. 19 versus 14, Safford Parker. Who you got there?
This is tough, dude, because like these two teams are very interesting. I like how Parker plays. They do got a pretty good guard, and I think his name's Abraham, if I'm not mistaken. He's like I think it's Abraham. I hope I didn't like butcher his name or anything like that, so I'm sorry if I did. But Parker's been a very interesting team. We had a lot of high hopes for them, and in the beginning half of the season, we were a little shaky on them. It's right to say we're like, man, what's going on with Parker? They're not figuring it out. Why are they this and that? And if you look from January, they've just been kind of doing what they needed to do, right? They played Yuma Catholic early at January 4th, lost 56-47. Then they
Which I thought that game was closer than what I was expecting. To me, that showed that Parker can compete,
They showed that they can compete, and this was at Parker High School. When they went to Yuma Catholic, they ended up losing by 24. So I'm kind of curious what happened around that time. It's kind of hard to really judge, right? Because, respectfully, the West region's not very tough or not very deep. And so they got the wins that they needed to get the wins over. As far as, like, you look at Safford, I mean, Safford's in a pretty tough region overall, too.
Sure.
And
let's just say this. The biggest thing that hurts Parker is the weakness of their region, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to really say that just because
Well, it's not disrespectful. I think everybody in the small ball knows that. Compared to where the South or the Metro or even the North Central. I mean, it's Parker and Yuma, and then it's everybody else. ALA West Foothills would have been a prime candidate to strengthen that region, but that's history. But it's interesting that Parker could win and go on and face their region champion,
No, I agree with you, but I think, like I said, the tough matchup was Safford, right? Safford did beat – it's very important to know Safford did beat Thatcher on January 9th. They beat them 67-54. They beat Tank Verde. They lost to a Push Ridge by 2. They lost to Palo by 5. And then they lost to Sabino by 9. And so they beat the other teams that they needed to beat, like Empire and, Catalina, poor Catalina, but it is what it is. I like this matchup. Call me crazy, but I think I'm going to go with the Bulldogs to get the dub over Parker, and they are going to face Yuma Catholic.
Yeah, I think they pull the upset as well. I have Safford. I think that they've played against better competition throughout the year, and I think that they bring a different type of physicality that will be difficult for Parker to handle. I think Parker can play up to it, but it's just if they have it that night when they do face off against each other. Let's move on to number 22, Camp Verde versus number 11, Winslow. This is very familiar territory for both teams.
This is the only time you really hear us talk about our team. This would be weird.
I know. Well, what's funny is we were on the bubble. I talked about this on Patreon last night because we're recording this on Saturday. But we were sitting at 23. Ben Franklin lost to ALA Ironwood, and we knew that they were going to drop, but we didn't know how far they were going to drop. Our only hope of squeaking in the playoffs was because we didn't have any more games to play to boost our power points, but the only hope of us is if Ben Franklin dropped below us in power points and then bumped us up to 22, and we looked at it, and what was it? It was 7/100ths of a point that we were ahead of Ben Franklin.
Correct.
Which is crazy, you know. So I was watching the bracket reveal, and I wasn't expecting us to get in, and I was just like, it announced the name, and then I saw Coach Wall calling me on my phone. I was like, let's go. So, you know, we're all super excited to just be able to compete in the state tournament. Super fun. But we've matched up against Winslow before. Winslow, super well coached, got some great kids over there. It's going to be fun. We're not going to give a prediction on this one just because obviously we're biased. So, I mean, if we're biased, you know where we would be at. But this is just going to be such a great matchup here. Winslow is led by so many great guards. They've got Isaac, their big, who is just playing at such a high level right now. I mean, he's a tough matchup for. They got Torres. They have so many different things, and they have been in a dogfight gauntlet over in the East, and they end up finishing, I think, second in the East. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I think they finished second in the East. So I mean, this is going to be a really fun matchup.
No, they finished third. They finished third.
Who was second?
Second, I believe, was Sholo.
Dang, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, the East was just kind of bananas this year. They beat themselves up like crazy.
Oh, Snowflake. It was Holbrook, Snowflake, Winslow.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, there's just going to be some great guard play in this game. You know, you got Gage Russell from Camp Verde, you got Caleb Bahi, you got Jug, the Juggernaut, right? You got Christian back for Winslow.
Center.
6'10" center, you know, transfer just now eligible. Just kidding. That's just a joke. But Winslow's got some great guards and great bigs there. So it's just going to be a really fun matchup on the road again. And, you know, maybe I'm going to bring some extra heaters for the locker room there because that's what I gifted Winslow for Christmas. But super excited for this matchup and just super excited for the opportunity to compete. So Camp Verde versus the Bulldogs tips off on Wednesday. So super excited about that. And then moving on into the next round, whoever wins would face off against a super great physical Northwest Christian.
Familiar.
Very familiar, right? Now, I don't think Northwest Christian has played against a Winslow, but we've definitely played against a Northwest Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of interesting matchups there as well for that part of the bracket. So, yeah, super cool. Let's move on to the next one, okay? Number 23, Monument Valley versus number 10, Page. You know what, dude? Hold on, I gotta say this, right? I talked about us. I named some kids, dude. I gotta mention Jujo. I didn't even say him, but he's just such a dog, bro. I mean, you know, I think he was leading the 3A in rebounds at one point, or maybe he was number 2 in the 3A in rebounds, and he's like a 5'10" guard. Like he is the dog.
No, I don't do him like 5'10". You know he's a little bit taller than that.
Okay, you're talking like a classic recruiter, but he's the dog that ate the other dog. Okay, so
hey, bro,
let's just
problem?
move on. Okay, I got to give him a shout out too. So
golly,
okay,
man.
So you've got 23 Monument Valley facing off against number 10 Page. So I mean, this is
Page.
one that, bro, it's a coin flip. I don't even know if I favor Page in this matchup, bro.
Page is 2-1 in the series. Heading into
I know,
this
but
matchup.
I mean,
It's
did you watch their matchup in the 3A North though? Page struggled against Monument Valley. They struggled against the pressure of Monument Valley.
I know. I think that Coach Smith is gonna. I mean, like I said, shouts out to Monument Valley, but I don't know. I'm just a believer in Coach Smith, man, and I think that Tyree Stingley as well. I think everybody has an off night, dude, but I think he's gonna come ready, and I think he's gonna be ready to lead his team, and they're gonna play against number 7 Snowflake.
Sure. Yeah, I know. So that's good, man.
But just say you got Monument Valley. Just say it, dude.
No, I mean, I have Page. I think Page is going to win, but it's just going to be interesting. It really, all these games in the 3A North are just like a coin flip, dude. It's crazy.
It really is. Okay. Payson and Sholo, which is another familiar matchup.
Same thing, bro, but that's
dude.
a coin flip, right? If you look at that.
No, it really is, because Payson did beat Sholo, I think, right before, or this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they did. Payson wins against Sholo 84-78, and that one is at home. Yep. And Payson's also another really hot team coming into this. They have wins over Blue Ridge, Sholo, and Winslow. One of those being at Blue Ridge, right? So, I mean, Payson is a team that is playing really well right now. Sholo has been very up and down throughout the year, but man, they've got some awesome firepower. They've got some great forwards. I mean, they have a great win against Winslow right at the end of the season, which is February the 8th, which I think was Friday or Thursday.
Correct.
I think it was Thursday.
Thursday.
So, but before that, they had lost 4 in a row: Holbrook, Snowflake, Payson, and Blue Ridge. So, it's good that they got
It's
that
a
win over
gauntlet,
Winslow.
though, dude.
It's a gauntlet, though. So, I mean, it's, I get it. That just is how it is with this region play. But you have Payson and Sholo facing off against each other. I honestly, it's such a coin flop. I'm just going to give it to, I favor the person who's at home. So, I favor Sholo like crazy in this one. And I say like crazy, it's probably like a 5-point game, but I favor Sholo to move on to face off against Gilbert Christian.
Anderson Hatch is going to have a huge game, and that's alongside with Preston Powers. Two just high-level seniors just going to be going at it. And I guess I agree with you. I think the Cougars are going to get it done at home in the Cougar Den to face off against Gilbert Christian in the next round.
So this is the 3A bracket that we want to just break down and talk about. These are our picks of everybody who, sticks out to us. I mean, we didn't give a prediction for our game, which is fair, but for every other game we give predictions. Let us know what you guys think about these predictions. We want to hear about it, and we're just super excited that the playoffs are finally here for the 3A. Are you ready to move over to the 2A, or is there anything else you want to say about the 3A? Anything that I've missed?
Nope, nothing. Let's move on to the next conference.
Okay, let's go into it. Let's get into it. So for the 2A, the play-in games already took place. And I should mention this too, right? In the 1A, there are the first round is already done, and they're moving on into the quarters. That happened on Saturday, which is the day that we're recording this. I'm not sure when I'm going to release this, Reyes. I might release it today. I might release it on Monday. I don't know when.
Release it today, bro.
Should I, dude? I almost feel like I should, huh?
Give the people what they want.
But anyways, so the 1A is going on right now, but because we focused so much on the 1A in the previous weeks, we wanted to focus a lot on the 3A and the 2A because the 2A's play-ins are done. There were no upsets in the 2A play-ins. So, there was some really interesting scores from the 2A play-ins.
There were.
Namely, I want to say this. I mentioned that Arete Prep is a very interesting matchup, and they were matched up against, I think it was
Hopi.
And I got some flack for that. People were like, Arete Prep can't compete, whatever. Hey, did you see the score to that game?
80-79, dude. Huge night for Hopi's
Arete
guard.
Prep was, I know, their guard had 40 in the game, which was impressive. I think it's Isaiah. But he had 40 in that game. But Arete Prep was a team that was really peaking at the right time. So, I mean, they end up surviving. But here's the first part of the bracket here. The 16 is set for the actual playoff brackets for the 2A. So we just want to break this down. Hey, did you see Coach? You didn't see the show, huh? But Coach Crooms was on the AIA Online.
Was he?
Live show.
Shout
the
out
mics
Coach
weren't
Crooms.
working, so you couldn't really hear much. But Coach Crooms is there, and we know Coach Crooms can be kind of a loose cannon sometimes. And, Coach Crooms was very composed, very professional. It kind of made me sad. I wanted Coach Crooms to just kind of be himself. And not that he wasn't himself, but, there was a lot
we want the outlandish takes. We want everything.
There was a lot that was left on that interview table, bro. I'm just saying.
I wish he just would have been like, I'm coming for gold. You know what I mean?
Dude, I love it, man. So let's talk about this. What sticks out to you? This is the top end of the bracket, right? What sticks out to you about this? Kingman Academy.
Shouts out for them getting in, dude, which is amazing. They they had a pretty good year overall. Like I said, it's no slouch to make it to the Sweet 16. It's just tough that they got the short end of the stick, and they're going to face.
Hey, I just remembered to tell you this, bro. You're getting dogged on social media. Did you know that?
No, but I'm glad.
You said last week your dark horses were, I think it was for the 1A, but all of your dark horses lost. And somebody commented and they were like, hey, all your dark horses are done, dude. Nice prediction.
Well, did you see the Cicero game?
Yeah, it was close, dude. It was crazy.
Dude, all my dark horses almost won. That's why they're called dark horses for a reason. Now, am I a little upset they lost, bro? Yeah, it is. It's kind of a freaking, kick to the where, but it is what it is. But anyways, let's move on. Kingman Academy, Santan Charter. You have Heritage Academy versus Horizon Honors. You have Bisbee versus Phoenix Christian. Veritas Prep versus Leading Edge. The best matchup in this game for me is Heritage and Horizon Honors.
Yeah. In the live show, the guy was talking about Horizon Honors, and he was like, they're led by McNiney. I hope I'm saying
Jesus
that right.
Christ,
And I
that's
literally,
That's me.
I literally, Coach Henderson from Horizon Honors, you'll laugh at this, bro. I literally was looking at the TV and I was like, it's McNaney, bro. Like, how do you not know that? But it's kind of funny.
Bro, they don't care
But
about the small ball, dude.
they don't care, dude. They act like they do. No,
They
I'm
act
just
like
kidding.
they do, dude. We're so
I
much
shouldn't
better
have
than
said that. I'm just kidding. It's not
No,
true.
you quit being politic Lou, dude. I'm tired of this. For the
So-
fans listening, dude, it's time to rise up. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh, an insurrection, dude.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
but let's talk about this though, right? Heritage Academy, we got to give some love here. You know, respectfully, I think Santan Charter, Kingman Academy, Santan Charter is going to handle their business there. They're going to advance. But Heritage Academy Horizon Honors is very interesting. The 8 and the 9 seed. Heritage Academy punches their ticket into the playoffs, and it is their first appearance in playoffs in school history. Their school has
huge.
they've never made it there, which is crazy when you think about that. I want to make sure that I get this right because I don't want to miss anything. But yes, it is the first thing. It's the first time in school history that they have made the playoffs. So huge shout out to Coach G over there, who has just done a phenomenal job with this group. Their kids are playing confident with at a really high level. But so's Horizon Honors. And Horizon Honors obviously has the advantage height-wise. I think Heritage Academy has the advantage guard-wise. What do you take in this?
It's tough, right? You have a very, 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 very dynamic guard in Cameron Irby. And
Bro, that was like 4 varies, dude.
I know. Sorry, I was gonna yawn, but I just dragged it out so I didn't yawn. And then you want me to be honest, right? Like,
that's true. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I have a problem. If you guys haven't noticed, I do yawn a lot, and I'm sorry for that. But it just is what it is. And then you have a very talented, forward in Matthew McEnany.
Nice job, bro.
Dude, Coach Hendy, if you're hearing this, bro, I deserve something for getting that right. But these two teams have met before. They met in the Coyotes Invitational. Heritage was able to get the win 55-48. Now they meet again in the playoffs. This is it's such a good matchup, right? Because they do match up very well. Two, obviously different styles. You have one that's pretty guard heavy, and then you have one where Horizon Honors, we all know that they're built in their guards, but Matthew has just been playing out of this world. He's been, doing what he needs to do and carry his team. I cannot deny Horizon Honors, and I'm going to go with Horizon Honors getting the dub over Heritage.
So I'm going to actually go the opposite way. I favor Heritage in this matchup, right? We talk about one of the most important things in the playoffs is taking care of the basketball and really good guard play. And I think Heritage Academy has a little bit better guard play than Horizon. Now, Horizon still has great guards. I just think Heritage has a little bit better. I think that's going to be a key to this game. Whichever guards can play better and have less turnovers and make more impact plays, I think that's going to be the one that win. Horizon Honors has a really tough zone. So Heritage Academy is going to have to be ready for that because it's really interesting, and you can kind of practice against your scout team, but they don't have 6'7" running around being super active. So it's hard to really prepare for something like that. It's also at home, and that gym feels very small, and it makes McEnany almost feel like he's 6'10" or something like that, So I'm going to give it to Heritage Academy, but this is going to come down to the wire. Horizon Honors has got a great opportunity here to advance and meet against Santan Charter.
I agree with you, I agree with you. It's going to be a great matchup between Santan and Charter, but I got Horizon Honors.
I was going to say, you picked the other one.
I know,
okay,
my
so
bad.
Bisbee versus Phoenix Christian. I mean, how can you count out Phoenix Christian? Did you see their last game of the schedule? It was against McClintock.
Yeah, dude, which is, I wish that game was earlier in the year, not so late. But hey.
You don't like that later in the year, huh?
I don't like that later in the year. I wasn't really a fan of it.
Why?
I mean, I like
What's
the fact
your beef with that? It's just a game, dude.
Dude, but later in the year, dude, I don't know. It can
you
really
don't want to have a crazy hard test right before the playoffs, dude? Come on now.
No. Not like that, dude, because anything can happen. Someone can get hurt. I don't know. It doesn't really benefit McClintock at all. Because what if they would have lost and stuff like that?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get that.
As far as the overall, if you look at just the optics of it, but shouts out to Phoenix Christian because they, besides that, dude, they're just been on a tear. After the loss of Phoenix Country Day, they just kind of
they've been rolling, bro. They've been playing so tough.
They've just been putting in work. And so, shouts out to Bisbee, shouts out to Jose Mendez, tremendous 3-point shooter, and stuff like that. Great guard out of Bisbee. It's going to be a tough challenge and tough task to take on the Phoenix Christian Cougars with that long athletic guards. And like I said, they got 6'7" forward and Bryce Anderson, who's just tough, period. There's just nothing really to say
I don't
about
think Bisbee's going to have enough here. I mean, Phoenix Christian's Anderson is just playing at a whole nother level. And I think he has really stepped into that role that he needs to be in, and he's kind of their guy. And I'm just super excited to watch him compete in the playoffs, dude. It's going to be fun.
I agree.
Okay, let's move on to Veritas and Leading Edge. Leading Edge is interesting because Leading Edge did just drop one to Arte Prep.
They did.
But this is a team that is loaded with great guards. And, Veritas Prep is a team that has had some really great moments throughout the year. But I'm going to go with Leading Edge on this one because of their great guard play, because of their ability to shoot the ball at a high level. And, I mean, Leading Edge and Coach Joe, they've just got, like, that it factor where they can just rise up to the occasion and they perform when they really need to perform.
I agree with you. And like I said, these teams already met before. Leading Edge did get the dub over Veritas. It was 57-49. I think I agree with you, man. Leading Edge's shooting just really separates them from a lot of teams. And like I said, when they're ready to play and when they come ready, they're a very tough team to beat. And so I agree with you. I'm going to go Leading Edge over Veritas. So just to repeat that, we have Santan Charter. Well, this is mine. This is my bracket breakdown. I have Santan Charter facing off against Horizon Honors, and then I have Phoenix Christian facing Leading Edge.
And I have those same matchups, except Heritage is meeting against Santan Charter in my mind.
Malachi Graham Morrow, he's going to have a pretty big night, I think, for Veritas. Or for Leading Edge against Veritas.
Leading Edge, for Leading Edge. Okay, let's move on to the next part of this bracket.
This is the bottom. Oh, yeah, by the way, that was the top half. This is the bottom half now.
Okay, so in the bottom half, we have a really super interesting matchup of Hopi and Rancho. Okay,
this is a weird matchup, dude.
It is because, I obviously pick Rancho in this.
But it can get crazy.
Hopi is a team that can get kind of bananas, dude. So, I mean,
I agree with
Coach,
you.
I say this, Coach Trigg knows this way more than me even saying it. But, man, they've just got to be ready for the chaos that Hopi can create. And I think a key for them is going to be putting Hopi away early. If they can do that, I think they're going to be just fine. But if they give Hopi a lot of confidence and start to turn the ball over, I mean, Hopi is going to be – they can just make shots, and Hopi rises to the occasion too. So this is a really good matchup. I did hear a stat from the live game, the live bracket show that I liked, that Rancho is 77-2 against other 2A teams. And I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but it sounded really cool, so I'm going to throw it out here. It can't be that far off because Rancho doesn't lose that much to other 2A squads. So I mean, yeah, Coach Trigg and Sagith and Miller are going to be ready to go, and I have them winning against Hopi. But this is an interesting matchup, for them.
No, I agree with you, man. Golly, that's a fun one, honestly. If you don't,
I know, dude. I cannot wait for this matchup.
And it's hard to say, right? Because It's a really weird one to break down just because Hopi's just different. Just all I gotta say, Coach Trigg, just watch out for the freaking claw, dude. Claw,
dude, the claw. Hey, if you want to know more about that, let us know. No, I'm just kidding. We won't give away information. But maybe if you do, we'll let you know. The claw, dude. It's lethal, bro. It's crazy.
It is lethal, dude.
And if you don't know, you'll know in the game, and you'll be, oh, that's what they were talking about. The claw.
The claw. Phoenix Country Day versus Morenci. I like this matchup. I think Morenci has been a very interesting team, too, to watch. I was just looking at the bracket and stuff like that. So we'll jump right back in. But I was just looking at, the bracket. The first round for 3A starts on Wednesday the 14th. And then they play again on the 17th, which is Saturday. And then 2A, they're all in Prescott. So now I'm just trying to make a decision if I'm going to be in the Valley, going to go check out one of those games, or do I go to Prescott and just sit in a gym all day? You know what I mean?
Man, those are two tough choices to make.
I know. Maybe we'll have to do a poll. Because like I said, all those 2A teams are literally gonna be in Prescott. You know what I mean? All day. And then and for the 3A second round, they're still at their individual schools. So you only get check out multiple games or one game.
I think that's an easy one. I think you check out multiple games, but you can't miss the atmosphere of being at a home game. You know what I mean? It's just different.
Maybe just check out a couple games and drive down back to Phoenix, and I don't
think
know.
so.
We'll figure it out. What the fans vote. Anyways, so now we have PCD versus Morenci, as I was mentioning.
I'm gonna
before.
put Morenci on upset alert here. I think Phoenix Country Day, although Morenci is playing its best basketball as of recently in like recent years, I think Phoenix Country Day is a really tough squad that has a lot of really key pieces that they're going to need to keep advancing. I know I keep harping on guard play, but PCD has really, really good guard play, and they have the shooting that they're going to need. They've also got size, athleticism. Morenci has some of that too. I just think PCD has a little bit more of that, and they're going to be ready to go.
My thing is, I just have a weird feeling that Morenci might out-tough PCD.
Yeah, and that's a legitimate argument, I think, because that was coming into my mind as I'm looking at this matchup.
Yeah, because I think it is fair to say that, Country Day does have the better guard play. I think Morenci and, PCD, they're both very athletic teams. Morenci's just very physical and tough. They're a rebounding machine. Not saying PCD isn't. They got LaQuay Jerkins down there, doing work in the post
and
in the
great.
paint. But I think that Morenci's big, too.
Hey, hold on. We got to talk about this real quick, bro.
Dude, hey, you're right. LaQuay. Dude, bro, I understand that you guys got the dub over us, bro, but shouts out to, I don't even remember Buddy's name. Shouts out to 21, for showing love to the pod.
We got to tell a story.
Okay, let's go back, and then shouts out to you, 21.
So we played against PCD, and it was at our place, and we ended up losing. And, in our mind, we thought we really had to win that game in order to make it into the playoffs. So we were super mad, super pissed off. Going through the line, one of the kids from PCD was super nice. And he was like, hey, man, love the podcast.
Sammy Brodsky or Brodsky. Shouts out to you,
and it was
Sammy
super
Brodsky.
Cool. And
if
and
you're
I felt
paying
bad.
attention to this, listen up. Shouts out to you, bud.
I felt bad because I was like
It's
not
such
in the right headspace for it.
Timing.
Right. I wasn't in the right headspace for it, so I felt really bad about it. But, right behind him was Jerkins, and he was like, yeah, not me. And he was like, why? And, Jerkins,
hey, bro,
he said,
what? No, though. They're like, bro.
He said one of them said that I can't dribble. So, Jerkins, just to get it clear and out in the open, all right?
We love
that
you,
was
buddy.
That was Reyes that said that.
Oh, that was me. 100% that was me.
Throwing him under the bus.
If he's talking about on the podcast, or he's talking about on the bench, because that was me. Because every time he caught the ball, we said, hey, like, push him out, and, whatever. He just did.
Anyways,
shouts out
nothing
to LaQuay,
but respect and love for your game, Jerkins. You're a tough player. You do great for PCD. All right, so we're just showing you some love.
Hey, that's a funny
that made
story,
us laugh
bro.
So much. Like, one said I couldn't dribble. That's so funny, dude.
So yeah, Sammy Brodsky, like I said, shouts out to you, but again for the third time. He was just like, man, love the pod, blah 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 blah, this and that, and we're just like, yeah, man, thanks. And we're just like, dude, this is like just the worst timing ever, right? And then. You don't love the podcast? How come? One of them said I can't dribble. That's just great.
So funny, dude.
Hey,
PCD
in the trenches. Hey, in the trenches, bro. It gets tough, dude. And you say some things. Like I said, we're opponents for like that 32 minutes, but afterwards, it's like you said, small ball overall. At the end of the day, you got PCD. Even though I shouted out Brodsky, and I know we just shouted out LaQuay, I'm gonna go with Morenci. It's at Morenci. I think Morenci might get the crazy dub, and. Is it?
Yeah,
would it be? I know you look at 6-11, but would it be an upset if Morenci did beat PCD?
I mean, perception maybe, but I mean, literally by numbers it wouldn't be. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay. Anyways, it's like when Pat McAfee was talking about the Georgia, going all out, this and that, blah 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 blah, and he's like, "Give me Alabama." That's pretty much what I did.
That was so funny, and yes, that is what you just did. Okay, anyways, I didn't even see this matchup until just now, but number 10 Highland Prep at number 7.
Crazy matchup, dude.
Pima. Wow. Now this isn't. Wait, hold on. You said that all these games are in Prescott, right?
They're in Prescott, dude, and these games are on Saturday. The 17th or no 16th, which is a Friday. This one's the next round. So the first rounds are all on Friday, which, if Lou is about this grind, which he claims he is, technically there's nothing going on the 16th. And he's really small ball overall because his school doesn't believe in, teaching and helping kids, impacting kids' lives on that day for whatever reason. He can be there.
Here we go. That's good. That's right. That's awesome. Highland Prep versus number 7 Pima. Who do you got? I'm putting scary hours on this one, but who do you got in this, bro?
I don't know, dude.
I literally here's what I'm saying, okay? If I set aside my feelings and my inhibitions and I'm just picking based off of what I think, if I'm just picking based off of what I think, I think I'm going to go I'm going to go with Pima on this one.
Isn't that a weird feeling to say though? Like you're thinking that, right? And it's just
right.
It doesn't feel right.
Now Highland Prep, Cohen Hill, all the other players they got, they've got great guards. And they shine in the tournament. They play so well in the tournament. I'm going to go with Pima on this one because I just think they have been together all year long and they're very cohesive. They're tough, they're physical, you know how they're going to play. Highland Prep, they're still, they had some issues with some things throughout the year, namely Presley Ebay's injury, but they've rebounded from that and they're playing okay. But it's hard to recover from 2 big losses like that, So, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at these, and I got to favor Pima on this one, but Highland Prep is going to be for sure. They're going to be right there on the edge.
I think it's going to be a close game, too, but I am going to agree with you as well. I think both teams were battle-tested throughout this year.
Oh, absolutely. They're both battle-tested.
They're both battle-tested, but I think the cohesiveness and the togetherness of Pima is really, the physicality, right? This is at Pima, too. Long drive.
Mm-hmm.
You look at all the scenarios, right? I mean, I'm going to have to rock with Pima on this one, too. But shouts out to Highland Prep, dude, but I got the Rough Riders.
Yeah. Okay, and then we move on to our last one here is Round Valley versus number 2, ALA.
The Elks,
this is an
dude.
interesting matchup. I'm going to go with ALA on this one. I've thought the world of ALA all season long, and it doesn't change now. They haven't had as good of a regular season as I thought they would have, but sometimes that's better for the playoffs, right?
Who, ALA?
They still come in, ALA.
They've lost one game, buddy.
Yeah, but if you look at how they performed in some tournament stuff and all that, they haven't had as good of a showing as I thought they would have had. And if you look, you know what I'm talking about there.
I know what you're talking about. I'm saying they lost. I know they lost those 1 games in each of those tournaments to perennial teams, right?
That's it. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is this, dude. Shut your mouth.
Coach Myers got it, huh?
Give
Coach
me Lutheran.
Myers got it, huh?
Yeah, dude. Myers got this, bro. Myers, if you're listening, bro, Yotes all the way, dude.
What is it like this? Yeah. No, I would favor ALA.
Yotes, dude.
For sure.
Give me my merge, baby. Come on.
Now, Round Valley, they've got a lot of stuff to say about that too. They're going to be a tough matchup. They are no pushover as they head over to ALA, but I think ALA has the.
I think the Yotes are hungry, buddy.
But you talk about all of the things that they have going for them. On top of that, they also have experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They have a really good playoff experience as well. So I love them in this matchup, and I have them advancing.
Yeah, Round Valley's tough though. I mean, if you look at who they've played and who they've beaten, dude, they're no slouches, dude. And some of the teams they've lost
not at all.
To who they've lost to and stuff like that. It's crazy to think when we went to Round Valley and we were talking to their coach, and we're like, man, what happened to your guys' 6'8" kid, whatever it was. And obviously he made the decision. He did. It's always that what if, putting the what if theme music. What if he was there?
Mm-hmm.
How different would Round Valley be?
This team would not be a 15 seed. This team would be a top 5 team.
I agree with you, and so it's crazy to say, but I think the Yotes are hungry, they're starving, and elk is what's served for dinner.
Dang, bro, that's crazy.
That's pretty
okay.
nice.
So you can take the graphic off here now, but is there anything else you want to talk about with the 2A before we get out of here? Because that concludes our version of the bracket show and our bracket breakdown.
No, I don't got anything really to say, dude. Just, for all the teams that are going to be competing, on Wednesday or, this Friday, whatever it is, and Saturday, just good luck to you guys. Like I said, just stay together when times get tough in the game, basketball's a game that runs, and just learn how to persevere together. And hopefully only one team gets to win that night, right? Only one team gets to get happy. So just hope it's you guys.
That sounded weird, bro. Only one team gets to get happy? That's just kind of an odd way to say that.
One team gets to go home happy. Think about it.
Yeah, that's better. Just one team gets to get happy. That just
My
feels
bad,
weird,
dude. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm just,
it's all good.
dude. Honestly, all day and all at work this whole week, dude. I've just been motivational already, dude. I've been teaching third graders
Just
about
been changing
accountability.
Stuff, huh?
Just
Dang, bro.
teaching kids about third graders about accountability. They can't even spell it.
Just grinding, huh? Can you spell accountability?
I can't, but I know what it is. So
Can you try to spell it, please? Just please try to spell it.
sure, dude. I'm not gonna try to spell it right now.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Arizona Small Ball Podcast and for our version of the live bracket breakdown. We hope you guys all have a great weekend, get some rest, and we're so excited to watch you guys compete this week in the playoffs. To all the players and the coaches, good luck to you guys, and we will catch you at some point again next week.